Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, Dr. Yukon Suck It. And I am broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters. And I am bringing to you a deck called TEMUR Mill. And, so I'd like to say that I found this deck someplace. Technically, I kind of found it at Magic GG on the Premium Mythic list. But in reality, that deck and I did not see eye to eye. What it was is that I saw them playing Splendid Reclamation. And recently, I think you might have seen, I had a landfall deck that had Splendid Reclamation. And I realized how incredible Splendid Reclamation is with landfall. And so I thought, oh my God, I've got to do this. And I love my Izzet Mill deck. I love it, right? I think it's fantastic. So I dragged that one out. I put in Splendid Reclamation, and we swapped out some of the lands for these New Capenna cards, the land cards, that when they dropped out, we'll get to them in a little bit. We'll talk about them a bit. So anyways, so this is Dr. Suckit's Izzet Mill deck with just a smidge of green and New Capenna, making it TEMUR Mill. All right, so let's take a look at this deck and see what it does. At the low end, we have Fading Hope. So what Fading Hope does for us is right now I'm kind of trying to use it defensively. As in, one of the things we really, really want is Ruin Crab to stay out. And he only costs 1. That's it. So I'm not really too worried about bouncing him back my hound because I can most likely play him on the next turn with the mana I already have and then put down another mana. And he does just as much as he would have done otherwise. These guys aren't attacking. They're just like standing around being all Ruin Crabby, right? So therefore, Fading Hope is a great way of keeping them. Plus, if the mana value is 3 or less, you get to scry, which means scrying is great because that way you get to make sure that the next card coming up, well, you get to hope that it's not going to suck, because if it does suck, you can get rid of it and hope that the next card's not going to suck. Next off, we got Maddening Cacophony, and this card is really good in a mill deck because if you pay 6 mana rather than the 2, they will mill half of their library rounded up. Now, my problem is the fact that I really want to go for the 6. And then once I started going for the 6, I really want to go for the 2 more with the Galvanic Iteration. And so then I want 8. And so I'm holding back to these, holding back, just because I'm trying to get them to do half and then half again. So that way they only have whatever it is, like a third of their library left. But I end up waiting way too long. So I should try to play these more often just for the 2. Maybe try to double it up, paying 4 if I can get 16 out of it. Because on a 60-card deck, 16 cards is a lot. But we'll see if I can hold off and how that plays out, right? We've got Expressive Iteration, which is another thing that lets you look through the top 3 cards of your library. You put one of them in your hand, one in the bottom of your library, and you exile one of them that you can play this turn. So usually what you want to do is not play a land, play Expressive Iteration, and then usually line up any lands you get to be the 3rd card. So that way you can play it from exile. Now, if you happen to have more land available or more mana available than the 2 it costs to cast Expressive Iteration, then maybe you get a cheap enough card you can cast. But you got to plan ahead with Expressive Iteration. It takes a little bit of planning. We got Galvanic Iteration. Now, the big problem I have is that I always think Galvanic Iteration is Expressive Iteration. And so I always end up playing it accidentally, and then it doesn't do anything, and I'm just sitting around for flashback. So make sure you pay attention to the art. They look too much alike to me. Sure, the art's different, but they're both blue and red. They're gold. They both have the word iteration in it. For somebody that's a lot, it's a little sloppy. I'm a little too fast on what I do. So I end up thinking these cards are the same cards, and that's not the case. Anyways, Galvanic Iteration will copy the next instant or sorcery spell that you play in this turn, which allows you to double up Maddening Cacophony and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I kind of wish the art was better. I'm sorry, LC, but I don't particularly care for the art of this. But anyways, this will make your opponent exile the top part of their library until they hit 20 mana value. So just to count that off, like this is 1, 2, 3. And so it would probably, one of these would probably kill my entire deck, because my deck's pretty cheap for the most part. But anyway, so this is a big part of getting it. And if you can play this multiple times, you're just killing people, right? We got Prismari Command. So this is Swiss Army knife cards. Cost you 3. You get to do two of these things. And it's either deal 2 damage to any target, draw 2 cards, and discard 2 cards, get a treasure token, or destroy target artifact. So, you know, the deal 2 damage and the destroy target artifact, those are very much dependent upon what your opponent is doing. And since you're not trying to kill your opponent with damage, you're not really going after your opponent for the first thing at all. So it's really those middle two that you're looking to play more times than not. You can always use the treasure tokens, and target player draws 2 and discards 2. That, depending, you know, you are going to be wanting to go through your library to get what you're looking for. So a lot of times that's what you can be doing, is those middle two abilities. You got the big score, where you discard a card. You know, if you got a lot of crabs out, I would recommend, I mean, because if you play the land, then the crab will go off. If you have the ability to do Splendid Reclamation, then discard a card, so that way you can bring him back with Splendid Reclamation as a bomb, blowing everybody up, right? But anyway, so you discard that card, you get 2 treasure tokens, and you get to draw 2 cards. So that's fantastic. Fantastic, right? Now here's the bomb we keep talking about, Splendid Reclamation. I only got 2, or I guess I have 3 of them in here. Maybe you can tone this down a little bit. Because you only need 1 generally. Because once you use it, that's it. There's not going to be any more lands in your graveyard. But you return all your lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, which is going to make your landfall stuff go crazy. That is rune crabs, right? So the more rune crabs you can have out, the more stuff you have in your graveyard, the better off this is going to do. And more likely, this is going to finish the game for you. Either you're going to have green mana, or you're going to use treasure from like the big score or Prismari Command to play that green mana to be able to get that thing to go off. So this is, I mean, we could probably avoid having the green land whatsoever. We probably don't even need it. What we do need, though, is we do need a green land at some point. So there's a lot of green sources potentially. We have 1 burn down the house. It is just there as our ability to sweep the board and things, in case things are getting wildly out of control. It'll take down anything that goes up to 5 as far as a creature is concerned, and each planeswalker. So it has the ability to sweep. If you're not playing with rune crabs, then you got nothing. You don't have any other creatures out. So this is just a great way of buying yourself some time. Now, you can also put out the 3 red devils, which could be good blockers, especially if you're going up against stuff with 1 point of damage, because as soon as they die, then even if you're playing against something that has 2 points of damage, then you can use that extra point of damage from their death to kill whatever it was that they just blocked. And if you had a bunch of little 1/1s, then you would kill one and then kill another one with the rebound, right? Now, Invoke Calamity costs you 5, and it's 4 red. And in this deck, you know, sometimes it's hard to get 4 red. So you're going to focus a lot on the treasures from the big score and the Prismari Command. So don't be spendthrift or springy with those things. You want to make sure you watch out, because this is your other kind of bomb. You've already played Tasha's Hideous Laughter or something. Maybe, you know, you got Maddening Cacophony. You got them in your graveyard. Invoke Calamity is going to let you go and play them a second time. It's only going to cost you 5. You can play 2 of them at that, because you could do a combined mana value of 6 or less from your graveyard, and you can pay them without their mana costs. Now, I don't think you'll be able to do the kicker, but so you're still looking at 20 mana cost and then 8 cards right there. And I suppose if you could get the Galvanic Iteration mixed in somehow, that in case you can't do one or the other, you can always double up on one of those using that. Over here, we've got regular lands, just because these things go back and fetch the basic lands back. And so you need to have basic lands for these things to fetch. So that's why I got a bunch of those in there. And those things, if we haven't talked about it, as they come into play, you sacrifice it, and then you go get another basic land, and you put it in the game tap, and you gain some life. So this stuff will help keep you alive a little bit, and will cause 2 landfalls to happen, which is going to really trigger off your rune crabs. So that's the deck. Either rune crabs will kill them, or the Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Maddening Cacophony will kill them. And you have a bunch of tricks to get someplace. The only thing you got to hope is that you just don't have a handful of tricks and nothing to actually do with it. So let's take this out on the road and see how well it does. And we're playing against, what is this? 5 her 3 wa. Let's see, we've got Burn Down the House, Expressive Iteration. All right, let's see if we can draw into what we need. This is kind of dangerous, but whatever. Balua. Interesting. Don't let your dog pee on the floor. All right, red. It's dangerous to use an Expressive Iteration when you've already put a land out. All right, I already got a Splendid Reclamation. I need another green is what I need. So let's go ahead and say 1, 2, 3. Nice to have a crab, wouldn't it? But for being a mill deck, I have a whole lot of not mill in my hand at this moment. Worst part about those trolls, I'll have to burn them twice, and I don't have the power for that. Go for it, Death Moon. Let's put out a crab. Pay for it with one of these treasures. Nice thing is Fading Hope can take out one of the troll tokens if it comes down to that. Also take out one of those. Nope. Alright, let's double up. Let's start some milling there. Green. Okay. Take this one right now. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that guy. No attacks. Okay. I'm gonna say if I need 3 blue is what I really need this next turn, but that's not gonna happen, is it? I will start off with the Rune Crab though, and we're gonna put out a mountain. We got what? 1, 2. That's it. I get us 3 potentially. Next, no attacks. Turn. My hope here is I'll be able to Hideous Laughter on this next turn. Yeah. Yeah, keep putting those lands out. Alright, let's give this a shot. What are we looking at up there? 18 cards, huh? And what do I got in here? It's like 2, 3 total, huh? Not good enough. Well, 3 times 2, that's 6. No blocks. We'll have to take it. Alright, well, it's either here or nowhere. Sure, let's green up. Yeah, we got him. We got him! Victory! Victory, victory. Our planet gets Den. As in where a wolf likes to go to sleep. Lots of good mana. Absolutely no crabs. Let's just see what we can do. It's always amazing sometimes what you start off with and what you end up winning with. Alright, I can start with the little Prismari Command. What are we going to do here? 2 damage to target treasure. Treasure's probably the best way to go. And we'll target player. Draws 2 and draws 2. Discard 2 cards. What are we getting rid of here? 1. 2. Really need that much land? I don't know, we'll see. The Reclamation. Oh, there's a whole lot of nothing there. I'm going to need one of those. Get rid of the Fading Hope. Don't need any Guardian, nothing in there yet. Oh, I should have been throwing them in the graveyard. What an idiot. That's what you do. You put your own lands in the graveyard during those situations. There we go. Discard a card. Sure, we'll get rid of that one. Much better. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Sure. We got a long way to go. We're definitely looking for some stuff that we don't have. Getting rid of a land. Spooky. Well, I could have used that green, I suppose. I guess I got treasures for it. We're done. Yeah, we're picking up lots of things that are not what this deck needs to do. Maybe I need to tone it down a little bit. Well, I guess I can use the Invoke Calamity to bring some stuff back, but what is it going to be? If I had a crab, I'd bring back the, I'd bring all the things out. Bring all the lands back. $19. And I'm looking pretty sorry here. Autopay. And there we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Woo. Victory. Victory, victory. Our opponent gets Toto. Marianne, or what was her name? Dorothy's little dog. Alright, so we got a crab. Let's keep it. We got crabs. So now that we learned the trick that we need to be sacrificing our own lands to the graveyard, I'm feeling a lot better about certain things. Okay, and that's not the expressive iteration. I always get tricked over by that one and play it by mistake. Don't be killing my crab. We're going to take the slow boat there, apparently. It's a werewolf. Yeah, draw another card. Take it right off the top there. You're down to 44. I got a long way to go. All right, let's do this now. I'm slowing myself down a little bit. Because, yeah, the second land comes into play tapped, so you can't use it as a fourth mana. You're going to try to mill me. Is that what you're going to do? All right, I'm going to go ahead and let's go for a big score. We're going to toss out this land. We got some more lands. All right, we are no attacking and end. What do we got him down to there? 32? Wow, where are we at here? All right, 13 life. Pull another card. 31. All right, that's a lot better. Ooh, I should have used the Galvanic Iteration there, shouldn't I? Alright, and he's dead. Apparently he gives up. We're playing against Thanautopsy. Thanautopsy. Alright. We got a couple of these things. We got a crab. Let's keep it. It's a good place to start when you started off with worse. There we go. Kill the crab if you're smart. Think we'll be able to get ourselves a mountain off of this one? Yes, we will. Cool. No attacks. End turn. All right. Do a little organization here. That's disappointing. I'll bring my guy back. Come on back, little boy. Sure. That was all for nothing. You killed your own guy. I can't believe it. Now I'm going to go for a can. Doesn't look like it. Dang it. I'm saying I can go for an island, but it didn't seem to work out. If he tries to play another one of those, kills my poor crab. There we go. He got it this time. Oh, the humanity. Anything here worth pulling again? Crab. Instant or sorcery, huh? Alright, let's Expressive Iteration. Okay, we like the crab. Everything in here is fantastic, though. I could probably... Can I play the crab? Maybe. This is what everything's about. So one. Back into the thing. Put this one out. Push the blue. Put out the crab. Unfortunately, I can't save them. Ah, it sucks. There we go. Trying so hard. Alright, that's Hideous Laughter. See, it was quite hideous. What are we down to there? 24, huh? Alright, let's get dangerous. What are we looking at here? Don't care. Let's create a treasure token and do this. Double up. Two cards going away, huh? One. Two. I just need a lot more red. I need 4 reds. I've only got 1, and now the treasure makes 2 potentially. Decline. I'll take 3 points of damage. Alright, so... choose one. Choosing this one. This one's going back. This one's coming out. A 2. And let's go for a... No, I'd have to waste that. I don't want to waste it. We're done. A decline. All right, we're down to 7. All right, so at this point, I do have enough to play Invoke Calamity. What do I got in here? Hideous Laughter. Just 1, huh? Do I have a Express? No, do I have the iteration here as well? I do not. Let's see, what can we do? Let's do what we gotta do. Auto pay. What's in my hand? I think I should know that, right? We're gonna do Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And we're going to... Prismari Command. Token and 2 cards. There we go. Discard 2 cards. Let's get rid of the mountain and the big 4. We got him down to 7 cards. Let's discard a card. This is not gonna happen for us, so we'll get rid of that. I'm gonna discard a card. Take the 2 points of damage. And he's gone. Good game. Good game. Victory once again. All right, so here is TEMUR Mill. And really it's just Izzet Mill with a splash of green for obvious reasons. We saw it, right? So the one thing I wasn't prepared for in this deck is how incredible this deck is. It has like a couple of, I mean, it's the same path to victory, mill them, right? That's all there is to it. But it, you know, because, okay, let's take a look at the first path here. We've got Rune Crab, right? You get out Rune Crabs, try to get out more than one. I mean, all you're doing is just hopefully getting them out. And you'll tell if this is your path because it'll be in your opening hand. If you don't have a Rune Crab in your opening hand, then you're probably going for the other side. So you want to put out a crab and just start playing out as many lands as possible. And the best thing you could do is these new Capenna cards because they're essentially 2 land drops per turn. And the best thing about them is that they go into the graveyard when they're done. And so automatically you drop it, it goes to the graveyard, and then you get another card straight back out. Pick out a lot of different things. One of them you're getting forests and islands. Other one you're getting mountains and forests, right? It's interesting, they're both pulling forests there. But so anyways, that's pounding your graveyard full of stuff. The main reason why that's great is so that eventually you can pull out Splendid Reclamation. There's only 2 green in here because you really only need 1 green for that one right there. And so at the turn, you know, if you can dump enough lands into your graveyard and you got enough crabs out, then Splendid Reclamation is going to go crazy. Like, let's just pretend you had 1 crab out and you had, I don't know, let's say 4 of these things, right? So therefore you have 4 of these lands coming back. That means you're going to have 8 land drops. 8 times 3 is, was that 24? Yeah, I think so. 24. That's 24 lands going to the graveyard. You know, and that's a lot. That's like over a third of your deck right there is going away. If you had 2 crabs, right? Instead of being 24, we're talking 48 cards with 2 of these, like 4 of those and 1 of that. And that's a lot going on. But the thing is, this is just lands, man. This is just lands. And you're going to have some of these other lands in there. It's just, there's going to be a lot of things happening. What else? So the other great thing that happens is that, yeah, sure, you're playing the Maddening Cacophony and the Tasha City of Laughter. Maybe you even can double them up with these other, with Galvanic Iteration right there. But if you get them and they use them and they go into your graveyard, the good thing is you got the Invoke Calamities. Of course, you need to have the 4 red mana for it, but we do have a lot of treasure being generated by the big score. And we have treasures being caused by the Prismari Command. And so we can get those reds and then go back to our graveyard and play them again. And you know how many of those you can play with 1 of these? You could play 2 of these. You know, you could play 1 of each of those if you wanted to. You could play 1 of this and a Galvanic Iteration, which is going to cause it to double itself. So basically, you can play each of these once, and then you can all play them again with the Invoke Calamity. So the big thing I learned was that if you're going the Rune Crab route, is that when it comes time to discard a card due to big score or Prismari Command, you're looking to discard a land, because the more lands in your graveyard, the better it's going to be when you lay down the Splendid Reclamation bomb. Anyway, so that's it. You know, I got to say, let's talk about, was this deck competitive? I got to tell you, it was super competitive. As in, like, we were blowing tons of people out of the water. Was it fun? Here's the deal. Depends on who you are. To me, this deck is super fun. Super fun. I love it, right? I know other people think that mill is the devil. So I just think it's what blue needs to be doing. I think it's super fun. And what's the last thing? Is there a theme to it? Yeah, man, milling. Milling is the theme. So I think this deck to me is, I think it's one of the top tier decks, right? I think this is, if you're looking to win and you're looking to have fun, this is one of those decks you're going to keep in your back pocket and you're going to pull out every other game. You probably, this and some other deck are high in your list. The only reason is if you just get bored with essentially not playing against other people, that all you're really doing is playing your own game and they're just the timer that you're playing against. That, you know, that's the only reason why you might get bored of this deck. Otherwise, it's a great deck. So anyways, I hope you have as much fun with this deck as I did. That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. from all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.